What's going on, guys? My name is Nate and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the Logitech G502 wireless lightspeed and the G512 wired keyboard. The reason why I want to do this is I wanted some new gaming peripherals and I wanted to go through the review process of you guys. So I've been using the G502 wireless for about, I would say, maybe a couple weeks now. If you could tell in the intro of my new intro, it had this in there, and the keyboard I've had for 2 days. So I've already gotten used to the keyboard pretty well, and this is not the keyboard, this is something different. Whoops. This chunky boy is the keyboard. It's upside down, but I can't turn it around because it's currently plugged in, and I'm too lazy to unplug it because I'm that kind of YouTuber. Sorry. But anyways, I wanted to get some new gaming peripherals, and I wanted to give my honest opinion to you guys about these two products, and both of them are actually really positive. There was one negative of the keyboard, but it turned into a positive after I fixed the issue because something was not working correctly with this keyboard, and I'll tell you later. But let's start with the mouse. So the Logitech G502 mouse comes with the mouse. It comes with a wireless adapter that you can plug in. I have the wireless adapter plugged into my computer here. I can actually unplug it real quick. There you go. It says G502 right on it, which makes it pretty easy to figure out which wireless thing you have if you have multiple wireless devices. Like, for instance, me, I have 2 wireless keyboards, but I have a wired keyboard as well. But the wireless keyboard is mainly my travel keyboard, where I take places like into my lounge or something in my college. That's fine. Another feature is it has a rechargeable battery in it, so you plug it in. The cable that it comes with is actually the best way to charge it because the cable fits in this little weirdly shaped hole. It fits the shape perfectly. In fact, here, actually, it comes with this nice cable. I haven't actually unwrapped it because, honestly, I only really need that much. And plus, it's wireless, so I never need to plug it in unless it dies, obviously, which, with the different lighting settings, it depends on how much battery life you'll get out of it. But this cable is actually pretty decently long. It has a couple twist ties, and it has the Logitech G series logo on it. And talking about the cable specifically fits, it has a weird shape because it fits the hole of the mouse. So if I plug it in like that, it fits the hole perfectly. So it actually kind of looks like it's a wired mouse, but then you can unplug it. This mouse that I know of actually says it claims it gets 50 hours of battery life if you do not have the extra DPI lighting on. I have it on right now. I've been going back and forth between having it on and having it off, and it gets 25 hours on a charge with the DPI lighting on. I've actually seen it get more than that many. Again, I don't use it quite often, and plus when it's not on, it turns off after I think like a minute or so of inactivity, so it's really not that bad. It does come with magnets, or not magnets, weights you can put in, so you can put 2 weights. Oh, also, before I go into the weights, this little thing, if you buy the charging mat, this is what this little thing does. You put it right here, and this connects via the 2 metallic connections here to the bottom of the mouse. And if you have a G502 or the Lightspeed wireless mat, the charging mat, this will make it able to charge while it's just sitting here charging, which is actually really cool. If you don't have the charging mat, you just charge it normally. And if you want to use it plugged in, well, it doesn't even need the little wireless adapter. You can just store the wireless adapter in its location, plug it in, and it works just like our standard wired mouse. Going to the weights, there are actually multiple places for the weights. So there's actually 2 places on the bottom of the charging, I guess the charging puck I can call it here. There's 2 spots where you put the 2 big weights. I think they're like 4-gram weights. And the other place for the rest of the weights actually are on this little tab here. It took me a while to figure out how to get to the rest of the weights because I was like, oh, somehow you managed to put all of the weights in this little disc. No. So what you do is, I had no idea, but this little bottom section is actually magnetic. I had zero clue this was magnetic until, like, I think when I was getting it out of the box the other day, I thought I broke it because it was off and this was just here. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just broke this $100 mouse. But this is actually just magnets, and you basically just line it up with the little tabs on the bottom here. I'm trying to make this good because I don't really have good light. You do this, magnetizes, and it does not come off at all. Alright, next, the buttons. There are quite a few buttons on this mouse. I'm going to go over what each of them do. So you have the 2 side standard buttons for like forward and back on pages and stuff. Oops, I just clicked a button. Forward and back pages right here. I'm trying to make it so you guys can see. I guess I can do that. Forward and back pages right here. Right here is a crosshair button for when you're playing games. This actually only works really well when you're playing games. you can set custom DPI levels with this button. So if you're taking really good aim and you want to have lots of movability to move just a small bit, that's what this little button does. It turns your DPI down a lot, and then you can get precise aiming with this. I don't find it very useful. I just move my mouse really slowly to get good aim, and with the accuracy of this sensor, which is like 1 millisecond precision, which is really fast, it's not even noticeable. It's a lot faster than my old mouse. My old mouse was very slow, and when I started using this while playing games, I could notice the difference instantly, how sensitive this sensor is. It's so sensitive that even just slamming my knee on the desk will wake it up, because it isn't weird like my old mouse. Let's see here. Let's move on to the next set of buttons. So the next set of buttons up here are your DPI selector buttons. Now, I have the dysfunction disabled because I kept bumping it and adjusting the DPI level, which my custom DPI level on my Windows laptop is 2000 DPI, and that seems pretty good for what my workflow is. It's not ton movement, and it's really precise. So these are up, this is down. It actually does show you the DPI level adjusting when you have it enabled with these DPI lights on the side, but right now obviously they're doing nothing. I missed that button, I'm actually bad. On the top here you have the battery button, which this doesn't do it right here because I'm plugged into my MacBook, so the battery life does come up because it's green right now, and it's going to go back to its color changing thing once it cycles around to green. Yep, there it goes. So that is the battery button. Normally, I think on my Windows laptop, this would also light up green for a brief moment, but since I'm plugged into my Mac right now because I'm recording stuff, that's what's happening. In fact, I'm actually clicking a million things over there. What am I doing? Oh, wait, what? Oh my gosh, I didn't even know. I didn't even know that was... That's what the second cable is for. Oh my gosh, I'm learning... Okay, I need to do this because I'm learning stuff right now. This is the Logitech G512 gaming keyboard with Cherry MX Blue switches. I will get into a keyboard testing later into the video and show you the issue that I had. So, it comes with a very long braided cable with 2 USB ports, and I feel like an idiot for this, not knowing that there are symbols on the bottom telling you what the USB... I'm actually an idiot for this. So on this, it comes with 2 cables. It has one for the keyboard, a symbol on it, and then it has one for data, because there is a USB port on the top of this keyboard. I feel like an idiot for this because I did not see this before. And that's what, because for a while I'm like, oh, it's completely pointless. This cable doesn't even do anything. So I just kind of shoved it behind my desk in the little slot so I don't see it. And then this one works because it lights up the keyboard and functions like a keyboard. But that is for the data, and this is for the keyboard itself. This keyboard is a 100% keyboard. That's why it's so big to fit. I don't even know. I can't even tell. Am I fitting this on the thing? I'm looking at my watch like an idiot because that's how I am. Well, you get the idea. It's a 100% keyboard, so it has a full number pad, full arrow keys, full function row. It has a bunch of function keys for the keyboard itself if you want to use custom programmable macros and other lighting effects by just using the function keys. I just use the G Wireless software to program all this stuff. This is actually, I can show the actual name, G502 Carbon, I think it's LGX, blue RGB mechanical gaming keyboard. Doesn't it sound like a gaming keyboard? You're welcome. Alright, I think I'm gonna, while I'm wiring this back up, I'm gonna do the keyboard and mouse test so you get to hear all the sounds. So here's the keyboard test. How exciting. Alright, so you're probably wondering, Nathan, the spacebar on that keyboard sounds god-awful, and you're right, it is very, very noisy, but here's the reason why it's very noisy, and it'll make a lot of sense after. So, when I got this keyboard brand new, I opened it up and I was testing all the keys, and then I clicked the spacebar, and the spacebar was like really, really slow, and it felt like it was sticky for some reason. And this was brand new. It hadn't been opened before. The box was completely sealed from the shipping. So I was like, huh, that's interesting. So I brought it back, and it just was super, super sticky. So I did the most logical thing, and well, popped the spacebar off and looked at it. Didn't seem like anything. Pressed the switch. Was completely fine. And then I saw the stabilizers, and I can lift one up, and I could lift it up, and the stabilizers, when they're lifted up, are not, the stabilizers are not on springs on this one. I drop it, it's supposed to fall down, but when I lift it up, it would stay up there. And I was like, I'm pretty sure those are supposed to be very loose and very, very easy to move. So I got some, I moved it around back and forth where it would, so it felt normal again, and it felt nice and movable. And then after about half an hour of me using it, it went back to being really sticky. So I was like, interesting. So I grabbed some, well, it wasn't, so I looked up like how to fix a sticky keyboard. So I was like, and the first thing that came up was like isopropyl alcohol. And I was like, well, I don't have isopropyl alcohol, but I do have lens cleaner, which, by the way, it's the same thing. And I started to grabbed a Q-tip, and I put a little bit on the end and just started scrubbing the edges of the keys, and it freed up very, very easily. But then I was like, after about maybe an hour of me playing a game, it started to get sticky again. I'm like, huh, I just cleaned this. How is it getting sticky? So I did the most logical thing and took the end of the spray, because it was glass cleaner, so it had the little spritzer on the end. I took it off and just spritzed it on the stabilizer itself. I was really taking chances with this. So I took the chance, I sprayed it on the keys, and it actually worked really, really well, and it felt super, super smooth. And then I think this morning I got it, and it was clicky, but it still was a little bit sticky, so I did another round of just spraying it at the stabilizer. And actually it wasn't the left stabilizer was actually pretty free by this point. It was actually the right stabilizer that was still a little sticky. In fact, it's still a tad sticky, but it's leagues better, and it's actually a lot quieter now that it's dried up, and I think the solution that was in there before is better. But after this, the spacebar is not sticky at all anymore. So when in doubt, just slam some isopropyl alcohol at the stabilizers to get rid of, I'm assuming, the lube that they put in it, but the lube was just so old and sticky that it didn't lube, it just glued. So that's my story for this keyboard. But other than that, every other key on this keyboard works perfectly, and I could set up everything, all of the function keys, the number pad. The only complaint I actually truly have with this is on the top here, I didn't know what the symbols meant on the top of the keyboard. There was a G and an A, so I knew the A looked like caps lock, and I could hit the caps lock key, and that was what I only needed. But it wasn't a numlock key, and it has a numlock key on it, but there's no numlock light. And by numlock, I see number pad lock. There's no numlock on there, so I was like pressing. I'm like, is it doing anything? So I went into settings. I started typing, and I'm like, it didn't seem to be typing. Then I hit it again. It started typing. I'm like, oh, so I just don't have a numlock light on mine. And then I still couldn't figure out what the G was. So I went over, I found a G on my function 8 line, and I did the function and then H, which seemed to enable something. And then I was playing games, and I was trying to tab out by hitting the Windows key, and it wasn't working. So I'm like, huh, did my Windows key stop working? So then I went in and I looked through the software, and it says if you enable gamer mode, it disables the Windows key, and I think that's the page key. It's next to the function and control key. They might be on other keyboards, I don't know. Whatever the, oh, actually this one has, no, don't go to sleep. This one has it right here. Whatever this key is, it disables those keys, so I had to press it, and it turns the G light off, and then my Windows keys start working. So it's a gamer mode, so I guess you don't accidentally tab out of a game by hitting the Windows key or the page key on accident, so that's at least something worth noting. But I don't usually use that. I usually don't go any lower to control, because most of my games I use shift with my pinky. I don't use control. And in like Minecraft, because in the beginning I was playing Minecraft, and my shift is this button on my mouse right here, and that's easy to usually than the crouch key because my pinky gets really tired. So because for sprinting you can just hit shift and go and it's not that bad, and to crouch I just usually use my thumb, which actually makes a lot of sense in my mind. So maybe other people will start doing it. I don't know, maybe I'll start a trend or something instead of using control to shift and control to shift, or control to crouch and shift to run, or what. I think it was backwards originally, I don't remember. Whatever it was, I just use this now and it's much better. Anyways guys, that's gonna be the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share this with your friends and family. Comment down below if you have any other questions about this keyboard or mouse. I think they're amazing keyboard and mice. After I fix the spacebar issue, this keyboard is amazing and I love it. And plus you can actually go in. Another thing in the process is you can change each, because it has key changeable lighting, so you can go into the key you can go into the software and change the lighting of each key itself, because they're per lit keys, per RGB lit keys, so you can only have, I don't know, the F key, so you can just press F to pay respects. I don't know, I'm running out of ideas. That's it. Peace and high five.